I decided to make another, well, I made a video, I think Sunday morning, which was yesterday, because today is Monday, according to my diary. Today is, according to the calendar, it's Monday the 21st, March 2016. It is 9:44 at night. It's a Monday. So I think, yesterday I think I made a video in the morning, Sunday morning. And because Saturday, my wife and I went to Grand Rapids and bought some Christian books. And I was mentioning in my last video that I bought a lot of books last week at thrift stores, and they're piling up. And if I don't do a video soon, I'm going to be overwhelmed. So here we go. The first thing I'm not going to mention the things I bought today, so I'm going to put these. I'm not going to mention these. I got these today. Just going to mention the ones I did last week. I got these today. I usually get about 40 to 50 books a month, sometimes more. Depends. Sometimes I go to thrift stores and I don't find anything. And sometimes I go to thrift stores and I come home with 20, 25 books. I don't know, it's kind of sporadic, having a cup of tea. So this is what I got. I got this when I volunteered at the Book Nook. You know, I as I said, Saturdays, our local library has a used bookstore, and I volunteer there from 10 in the morning to 1 in the afternoon. And I got, not this book. Oh, I got this book Saturday. The Love Song of Mrs. Queenie Hensley by Rachel Joyce. I got this because I had it already on CD. I also have another book by Rachel Joyce, The Unlikely Pilgrimage of Arnold Fry. So I got that Saturday at Library Book Nook used bookstore. I got these the week before at the Book Nook. This is a novel by Stephen Melhiser, Martin Dressler, A Tale of an American Dreamer. The winner of the Pulitzer Prize. I never heard of this novel, but I got it. And I also got, I got this at a thrift store last week, Before You Sleep by Lynn Allman. I think maybe I mentioned this one. Anyway, this was translated out of Norwegian. Before You Sleep by Lynn Allman. I also got this, Carter Beats the Devil by Glenn David Gould. I also found another novel by Glenn David Gould at the thrift stores last week, Sunnyside by Glenn David Gould. I never read his writings, but they look interesting. They got good reviews. The Notable Book of the Year, the Washington Post Book World Notable Book of the Year. So I got those. And I found this novel, The Case of Curiosities, a novel by Alan Kurzweil. It had good reviews from the New York Book Review of Books. It looked really interesting, so I got that. And I got this novel by Peter Brooks, The Emperor's Body. So I got that. And I got another novel by Jeffrey Lint, In the Fall. This takes place, it's a historical novel that takes place during the American Civil War. Says here, majestic, epic, vital, necessary piece, and uniquely American mosaic, New York Book Times Book Review. I tend to, if the New York Book Review, the Washington Post, the Christian Monitor, if these newspapers and their book reviews give good reviews for a certain novel, I tend to buy it if it's really cheap. And I collect this Rodney Doyle. He is I think he's, if I remember correctly, he's British. No, he's Irish. He's an Irish writer. The Woman Who Walked Into Doors by Rodney Doyle. I have 2 other novels by him in our library. And I have found a novel by The Songs for the Missing by Stuart O'Neill. I collect his writings. I have 4 or 5 of his novels in our library. Songs for the Missing. I collect him. And I found this, The Alleys of Eden, a novel by Robert Olen Butler, winner of the 1993 Pulitzer Prize for Fiction. This takes place, I think, during, I don't know. I just got it because it's a Pulitzer Prize. I've never heard of the guy. See how it goes. I got this old hardback called Nickel Mountain by John Gardner. I read this novel a couple years ago. I have John Gardner's writings in our library, but I got this old edition because I like the illustrations in it. So I like the illustrations. I like the old photo of him. I think John Gardner was killed in a motorcycle accident when he was quite young. But I have his writings, and it was only 25 cents. And I got this little book of essays by Julian Huxley, Man in the Modern World. He, so I got that, Julian Huxley, Selected Essays, Man in the Modern World by Julian Huxley. And I found this biography on George Meredith by Siegfried Susan. He was a poet during the First World War in England. He wrote poetry. I have his biography, I have his poetry, but he wrote this biography on George Meredith. I found that. I found Lawrence Durrell. I collect Lawrence Durrell, Reflections on Marining Venus. This is a travel memoir. I think it takes place in Greece. I just bought a biography on Lawrence Durrell by Gordon Boker, Through the Dark Limerick, a biography of Lawrence Durrell. I have almost all Lawrence Durrell's writings. I was really pleased to find this little paperback. Also, the biography written by Gordon Boker. He also wrote this biography on Malcolm Lowry, Pursued by Furies, A Life of Malcolm Lowry. Malcolm Lowry wrote the famous novel Under the Volcano by Malcolm Lowry, and I have his biography. And I look forward to reading these someday. I tend to buy a lot of biographies, and I just like biographies. I found some essays by S.J. Perelman. The First Lap, he wrote for the New Yorker. I collect his writings. He has an essay here on Nathaniel West, Dorothy Parker, the Marx Brothers. But he wrote for the New Yorker, I think back in, I don't know, back in the, can't remember when, but I collect his writings. I collect writings from writers who write for the New Yorker. I found a biography of Stendhal by Wallace Foley. So I found that biography of Stendhal. I found a Thomas Pynchon, Inherent Vice, that was made into a movie. I collect Thomas Pynchon's writings. I found this American history book, The Best Years of Their Lives, Kennedy, Johnson, and Nixon in 1948, Learning the Secrets of Power by Lance Morrow. I collect books on the Kennedys, Nixon. I don't really collect books on Johnson, President Johnson, but I do collect books on the Kennedys and Nixon. I found this. I was really pleased to find this one, The Third Rank by Alberto Bellino. I collect his writings. I have The Savage Detectives by Robert Bellino, and I also have his book in 2666. I have that by him. So I was really pleased to find this one by him. I like to find all of his writings, but he is one of my favorite writers. I mean, he was, I should say, he was translated out of Spanish. But so I have those in my library. And I found this Colossus, The Price of the America's Empire by Neil Ferguson. I collect his writings. I was really pleased to find this one. I didn't have it in my library. So that's what I found in thrift stores last week, and I found some today, but I won't go into those. I'm reading still Making All Things New, Inaugurated Eschatology for the Life of the Church by Benjamin Glad and Michael Harmon. I'm reading that today. And I'm reading Introducing Biblical Hermeneutics, A Comprehensive Framework for Hearing God in Scripture by Craig G. Bartholomew. I'm reading that today. I really haven't read last 2 days. I've just been reading my Christian books and writing in my diary. Today I'm on page tomorrow in my March 2016 diary. I'll be on page 250. Tomorrow I'll be on page 250. So I write that down. I'm kind of superstitious because if I write down the page, maybe tomorrow morning I won't wake up and it'll be a blank page. And who will fill out that blank page in my diary? I don't think my wife will. So yeah, that's what I'm reading. That's what I got in my at thrift stores. I got books coming in the mail this week. One novel. I do have a Christian books coming in the mail. One Christian book. Uh, I did mention this Gore Vidal biography by Fred Kaplan, because I mentioned a couple of weeks ago I got The Essential Gore Vidal. I have been looking at this off and on when I'm down here in my library, but I read this biography of Gore Vidal many years ago, and I really enjoyed it. Fred Kaplan writes a lot of biographies, and I collect his biographies. I think he's written biographies on all kinds of people. Yeah, he wrote on Henry James, Charles Dickens, Thomas Carlyle. Yeah. So if you're gonna get The Essential Gore Vidal, get the biography by Fred Kaplan on Gore Vidal. Really good biography. So yeah, that's what I got here. Nothing else I want to mention. So until the next time, bye.